There are many commentators who say that the non-human beings, the aliens, call them what you like, they're friendly, they're benevolent, that if they're real, they're no threat at all to humanity. Can we assume that?
Well, I think in order to understand if something is a threat, from a national security perspective, it's a very simple calculus. It's capabilities versus intent. We have examples where these things have disabled our nuclear capabilities, right? Like we see with Malmstrom Air Force Base and whatnot, where entire flights of our nuclear, part of our nuclear triad, has been taken offline, right? Nowhere did they stop our advancement from atomic technology development to nuclear technology. They didn't stop us testing weapons out in Nevada, and they didn't stop the proliferation of nuclear weapons from getting into the hands of other countries that are unfriendly, of countries like North Korea, and now India has them. And so I ask you, if these things are benevolent, why haven't they stopped that? There's zero information to suggest that what they are doing is for benevolent reasons.
When you think about aliens, one of the first things that comes to mind is an alien invasion. That's like the number one thing associated with aliens, because that's everyone's number one fear when it comes to aliens. That they will come to Earth and try to take over and conquer us. But also, probably the dominating theory, the number one theory that everyone has and has had for decades now, is that aliens are actually peaceful. That maybe they're here to help us. Maybe they're here to save our planet or to save us from ourselves, to stop us from destroying Earth with nuclear weapons. Or maybe they're just here to curiously observe us. But have you ever thought that maybe it's neither of the two? That maybe aliens don't necessarily have any ill will towards us, they don't have any evil plans for us, and that maybe aliens aren't interested in us at all? Has anyone ever thought that maybe there's indifference there? You know, as human beings, we tend to believe that we are the center of the universe. There's no being alive that has been created that is superior to the human race. And this mentality is one of the reasons why so many people have a hard time believing in aliens, because they believe that the entire universe, every galaxy, everything you can think of is surrounded by us, right? Or that, oh man, humans are so cool, humans are so interesting, that obviously if aliens were real, they would be here to study us. They would be here to observe us. Now that's possible, but also it's possible that they don't really care about us at all. Think about it. How many of you all ever cut your grass before? How many of you all have ever cut your lawn? When you go outside to cut the grass, are you thinking about the crickets, the roly-polies? Are you thinking about the random bugs that live within the grass? Are you thinking about any of that? No, you go and cut your grass. There's a indifference there. You don't even put thought into it. You're not even interested. And I think there's a possibility that, yeah, maybe alien life is here. Maybe these UFOs that people are seeing are real. And maybe they're not here to hurt us. Maybe they're not here to help us. Maybe they're not here to study us. Maybe they're here with their own agenda, and they don't care about us at all. Maybe we're just another animal or another being that's living on this planet. Maybe they look at us the same way they look at deer, the same way they look at penguins. I like penguins, by the way, one of my favorite animals. But do you get what I'm saying here? I just think that when you have a conversation about UFOs, I feel like you should not close yourself in or box yourself in, because once you open that conversation, you have to open the conversation with an open mind, understanding that anything is possible. Everything that you thought you understood or you thought you knew, maybe you were wrong. Maybe there's more to the universe. Maybe there's more to the world. There's more to everything. So all I'm saying is, I don't know if aliens are going to come invade us and take us over. And I don't know if they're here to help us or save us. I'm interested in, thinking about the third theory, thinking about the third possibility, that we are insignificant to them, that we don't even matter to them, we don't even register to them, that they're here for other reasons. But with that being said, let's go ahead and listen to a little bit more of what this guy had to say, because he's coming out with some very interesting claims.
Bombshell report from a UFO hunter, a former Pentagon official, now potentially risking everything by claiming the Defense Department has recovered non-human specimens during a spacecraft crash retrieval program. In a News Nation special report tonight, the former official reveals more than any Pentagon official has ever done before, naming government agencies and aerospace companies he says possess these alleged crafts. So let's bring in News Nation's Elizabeth Pran, who is live digging into all of this. Elizabeth, what else is in this report?
Yeah, hey, Nicole, this is groundbreaking. Like you said, really farther than any whistleblower has gone before. This former Pentagon insider, Lou Elizondo, really ran what he says is a secret program. He's publicly naming it for the first time, not only in an interview with a book that he's also published. He's saying the DoD recovered multiple spacecraft vehicles as well as occupants. I think this is really important to note that he said that they're not human, these are biological beings, and that we are not alone. So you might be wondering, okay, so why is the government not sharing these details? Well, he basically said the government has been aware for decades, pointing back to incidents as late as 1947, and he's saying the government doesn't have a solution for these, so they're not being transparent. Of course, we pressed the Pentagon, and they are denying all of these allegations. Here he is.
You've actually seen what you believe may well be alien technology, an implant.
I have.
What did you see?
I saw a technical device that had been removed, excised by the Department of Veterans Affairs by a surgeon, a trained physician from a U.S. military service member who claimed to have a UAP encounter. The physician claimed that the object tried to run on him or evade being excised.
So let me get this right. This object, whatever it is, it's a constructed object. It's a technological object.
It's a technological object enveloped in some sort of biological capsule.
It's really unbelievable what he is accusing. And Nicole, I think you might be wondering why now? Well, he basically says Americans can handle it. They can handle the truth. There needs to be more transparency, which is why he's stepping forward. Nicole.
All right. So, Elizabeth, he's saying he thinks Americans can handle it. What is his background? What is his motivation for actually coming forward now?
I think he wants the truth to be told. I mean, this is a public servant, right? He began his career in the Army. He worked as a counterintelligence special agent. He worked as a director of national intelligence, and then he moved on to advanced aerospace threat identification program that was inside of the Pentagon. And he said he would see claims of these UAPs, and why he found it disconcerting is because he said it would come from multiple branches of the military, so let's say the Navy, and they would violate airspace, and he said the technology was so beyond what we have, what Americans have, and what we're capable of, and why he says the information needs to be shared. Again, the government says that they do not have credible evidence of extraterrestrial activity, and they continue to deny all of the allegations that he lays out in his book and in his
So I guess the question is, do I believe this guy's claims? And the answer to that question is kind of sort of complicated, because here's how I look at the situation. Personally, I believe in aliens. I believe that the government has knowledge about aliens. I believe that the government is in possession of alien technology. I believe that the government has recovered alien bodies in the past. So I don't really need this guy's claims to believe in all of this stuff. You can take this guy and his claims out of the equation, and I still believe most of what he said to be true. So what I'm focused on is, what is this guy's intentions? Why now? Why are you coming forward? Why are you releasing this information? Because it's hard not to notice that over the past couple of years, we've had this influx of whistleblowers coming forward revealing information about UFOs. Now, is this all a coincidence? Is everyone coming forward at the same time? Are they inspiring each other? Do they find strength in numbers? Are people finally getting fed up with keeping these big secrets? Maybe. Or maybe there's an agenda behind this. Maybe there's another reason why so many people are coming forward revealing this information right now. Because I think that there's a huge possibility that even though they package this in a way to make it seem like, oh, these are whistleblowers revealing secret information that the government doesn't want us to know, I believe that, hey, if the government really didn't want us to know this stuff, then they probably wouldn't allow a lot of these whistleblowers to be out here speaking all willy-nilly. So I think that maybe there's an effort by the government to use these whistleblowers to their advantage to start leaking out, slowly putting out information to desensitize us and get us ready for whatever's to come. To start getting people comfortable with the fact that, hey, there's probably aliens, there's probably alien life. I think that's a possibility. I don't necessarily think that all of these people are just rogue ex-government officials that are all coming forward at the same time to reveal stuff. No, they're probably still working with the government, and they're probably releasing this information for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason could be, and I'm not saying that that's for sure what's happening. I think that's a huge possibility, though. But another thing that comes to mind, another thing that most people won't think about or talk about, is that, you know, we're on the verge of a massive war with Russia. Now, if you know anything about the Cold War, then you may know that UFOs were a big topic of discussion back then as well. The CIA was running secret operations using fake UFOs to trick Russia. Russia was leaking out claims that they had advanced weaponry that they recovered from UFOs. America was leaking out claims that we had advanced weaponry that we collected from UFOs. And we were both kind of scaring each other. America and Russia were trying to scare each other, you know, with claims about UFOs to try to intimidate the other. Like, hey, don't mess with us. We got some stuff you've never even seen. It's out of this world. We got alien weapons. Don't bother us. And it's funny because here we are, decades later, and kind of the same thing is happening right now. I'm not saying that there's a connection, but if you go back and look at the Cold War and you look at the issues we had with Russia, UFOs come up in the conversation, are in the topic a lot. UFOs were dominating the headlines a lot back then in the same ways they are now. So I just think it's funny that, hey, both of these situations throughout history, when we're on the verge of a massive war with Russia, all of a sudden UFOs come into the headlines. And there's talks about, oh, America's recovered this UFO technology and that UFO technology. So there's a possibility that we didn't recover any of this stuff, and none of this stuff is true, but this is just a tactic to kind of deter Russia from doing anything to us, or the other way around, because things like that have happened in the past. But as of right now, let me know your thoughts about this, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.